NodeJS Hello World app. In this lecture, we will learn how to create a simple Hello World app using Node.js. This is actually quite easy and it will only take few lines of code to achieve. But basically, what we're doing here is to make a simple GET web service that returns a Hello World message or any other message that you want. We have to take 3 simple steps. First, we will import the built-in HTTP module. Second, we'll create an HTTP server using the http.createServer. And then lastly, we will add a server.listen function to be able to accept any incoming HTTP request on our server. Let's begin. I have 2 windows opened here, the terminal and my Finder. And currently, I'm under the apps folder. So here, I'm gonna create a new folder called Node.js apps. And as you can see here, this new folder shows up again. And under that, let's go to that folder and I'm gonna create a new file using the touch command, and let's say it's hi.js. And as you can see here, it's now added as well in this folder. And to open that, just type open.js, and this is a empty file, and this is where we add our Hello World app. So again, we have 3 steps. First is to import the HTTP module, and then second is to create the server, and finally is to add a listener, or basically just invoke the server.listen function. Alright, so we have that, and the first step is to import the built-in HTTP module. To do that, just have this constant HTTP, and then just add require and this one, and there you go. This line basically means that in this constant variable HTTP, we will import this built-in HTTP module. Alright, and then let's add the new variable. This one is for the host name. So this can be either 127.0.0.1 or just localhost. But for now, we can just use this. And then we can also define the port. So the port is basically is user defined. So if you want port 3000 or port 3002, it's your choice. So that's good. And now let's move on in creating our server. So with this, we just simply need to call the http.createServer function. And after that, you can also assign as a variable. So let's say constant server, and then over here, so you have here your function, and have this arrow function here, and basically you can just do this. And it contains 2 parameters. One is the request, REQ, and then the response. So we have response. And basically on your arrow function, so we have response over here. So when this API is hit, so we're returning a response with the status code of 200. Basically it means it's successful. So status code is 200. And then you can also set your set header. So response, you have set header, and basically you have a content type here. Content type is text plain. Text plain. And lastly, just add the response at end, which contains your result or your response. So here, you just add hi world or hello world if you want to. So over here, just add that, or if you want to have a line breaker, it'll also work that one as well. And after that, the next step is to add a listener. All right. So to do that, we're gonna call this server that we just created earlier, this one, and I'm gonna use the server.listen. Over here, you can also call the hostname and the port. So this hostname and port will be the parameters. So we have here the port is port, and then the hostname is this one. So basically, these two variables. Alternatively, if you don't want this, you can just copy paste that and basically do this, but it's totally up to you. And now you're gonna have another arrow function. This one, I have this arrow function, and I'm gonna do that. And this one, you can leave this empty if you want to, or alternatively, you can add a console. For example, console log server is running. Okay, so that's done. So save that, and then go back to your terminal, clear this one, and for us to run this, so I have this file, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this as a server. So I'm gonna type node and then node and your file, and when I press enter, there you go. It now runs this one, it listens, and then if you go to your local host and then port 3000, let's see what will happen. Open up Chrome, and then since we added this local host and the port is 3000, so you can just do this 127.0, and then the port is 3000, and there you go. So your hello world app is good, but in this case it's hi world, but it doesn't matter. So if you want this, let's say save that, and perhaps if you want to change this, you can also do this, and then save that and rerun the server. So as you can see here, it's not updating, but if you basically run this, Control Z, and then you run it again, oops, so this one, it means that the address is already being used. So if you want to pretty much remove that, I have LSFI TCP, and I'm gonna kill basically this, alright, this command over here in Node. As you can see here, I'm gonna kill that one, 11497, and check again. Alright, so Google is, you can also kill that one as well, 423, but it actually is not important, just to make it more clean. Alright, so here I'm gonna run it again, hi.js, service running, and over here I got my Chrome, and same as before, I have this one, and there you go, it's now updated. And that's how you make a Hello World application with NodeJS. And if you want to automatically refresh your Node.js instance, you can use NodeMon or Node Monitor. And apparently, as you can see here, when I change this Node.js code, it's not automatically changed over here when I do this, right? So And of course, when you close this one, it takes you have to go to ls off to remove that specific port, and it's quite really tiring. So I really recommend to use NodeMon. So let's see. Again, I'm gonna remove this one. Gonna kill the port. In this case, I think the NodeJS instance is already dead. Only the Google instance remains, so I think that's safe. But in this case, instead of just using node-js, I'm gonna use NodeMon. So to do that, basically you can just do NodeMon i.js, and there you go. So right now, using NodeMon, when I make any change, let's say hello world, I am John, save that, and when I refresh this, look what will happen. And there you go, it's automatically updating. So it's actually a good tool for your application. And that's about it in creating your Hello World application in Node.js.